All clear, Commander.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. I am your host, Mortanius, and we are back with some more Mass Effect 1 Legendary Edition on the Xbox Series X. Sorry about that, folks. Sound like the audio's doing its thing. Sounds like that, did it? Yeah. But, as I said, we're back with some more Mass Effect 1 Legendary Edition. Sorry about that, just checking my, messages. Got a pretty weird one. But, when we last left off, we had, managed to finally finish Novaria and did a little bit more running around of the galaxy. We're actually going to continue that exact trend. There is so much of the galaxy to run around. So if you folks like what you see and want to see more of me as we continue through the madness, give me a like, a follow, subscribe here on YouTube or both, drop a comment, check out some of the other playlists, share around some of the other playlists, follow the links to my Twitch to get to my YouTube, follow the links to my YouTube to get to my Twitch. And wherever you folks happen to be, have yourselves a good morning, afternoon, evening, or night, and get comfortable. Let's get into this. Time of recording is 1:08 a.m., Sunday, June 30th, 2024.
Not allowed in here.
This one believes it has the right to move freely through this area.
You're creating a public disturbance. It's against Citadel regulations.
This one is unsure why the other would not wish word of the Enkindlers to be spread.
Interesting.
Do you desire to learn of the Enkindlers? Or has the Honorable CSEC officer enlisted assistance?
Assistance for what?
Why is the CSEC officer harassing you? The CSEC officer requests that this one purchase an evangelical permit to spread the truth of the Enkindlers.
Evangelical permit.
Who are the Enkindlers? Your people know them as the Protheans. They are the true creators of this one's people. The Enkindlers raised the Hanar from ignorance into consciousness by granting this one's people the gift of speech.
Interesting, especially if true. But you revere them like they're deities. Enkindlers.
So you're breaking the law by preaching without a permit right now? The CSEC officer states that preaching in this place is forbidden, and preaching anywhere on the Citadel requires a permit. This one humbly submits that it is not preaching to state the truth of the Enkindlers, and thus no permit should be necessary.
Hmm. And then there's the other thing, the whole preaching. You consider them to be deities. Random friend. Welcome to the game, welcome to the chat. Thanks for stopping by. I think I swear I think this is Azrael. I think I didn't forgot the name again.
If that's all the CSEC officer wants, why not just buy the permit? The truth of the Enkindlers is universal. This one humbly believes that the truth should not be suppressed. Exacting payment as a means of imposing limits upon the truth is an abrogation of this one's religious freedom.
True, but to force your religious beliefs on those around you just because they're in proximity, who are you to do so? At least if you pay, you can still do your preaching and you adhere to the laws of the society you're in. But let's see what happens.
Let me talk to the CSEC officer. Perhaps I can explain the situation.
Okay.
This one would be most
I thought that was you.
grateful for the assistance. Please let this one know if success is achieved.
That Hanar refuses to listen to reason. Why can't it act in an orderly and lawful manner?
Are there laws being broken here?
I am not unreasonable. The Hanar is free to spew its nonsense once it purchases an evangelical permit.
So if the Hanar gets a permit, it's allowed to preach?
No. Registered evangelicals must follow regulations. There are specific areas where preaching is legal. Failure to follow the regulations results in the forfeiture of the license.
That's understandable. Like, you wouldn't necessarily want this happening, well, not necessarily this particularly, but something like this happening like right in front of a school or something. You would want there to be regulated areas. Some would say that the word of your deity, your God, shouldn't be restricted, but, you know, again, who are you to restrict these people from listening to you, from not having to listen to you? You're literally forcing what you believe on them just because you feel it to be right.
What's the purpose behind the evangelical permits?
Forcing religious evangelicals to register for a permit weeds out undesirables. It keeps the area
Understand?
safe. The Citadel is too important to
Understandable.
become a battleground for a religious war.
And then there's that potential problem. A lot of people do like to get into religious wars. We tend to, we've had a few ourselves.
If you'd like, I could talk to the Hanar for you.
I have argued with the stubborn jelly all afternoon. You are certainly welcome to try.
Yeah, I don't take an issue with you being here, but if you want to be here, you do need to. You do need to adhere to the society.
Is this really how you want to represent the Enkindlers? The truth of the Enkindlers must be made known. They gave the
That's
Hanar
fine.
language and gave the universe the mass relays.
That's fine.
This one only wishes to spread the truth to any who will listen. There is no intent to cause trouble.
Hold on. I want him to go ahead and still talk, but I don't want this to... Let's see what it says.
Is this how the Enkindlers would want you to use this gift of consciousness? The Enkindlers would wish for their message to be spread to all sentient races. If the Protheans wanted you to force your message on the unwilling, they'd have said so. This one hears wisdom. Perhaps enthusiasm has clouded judgment in this matter. This one departs now, and will not intrude upon the Presidium again.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to reload that. He's fine speaking, but he needs to adhere to the laws of society, purchase the permit.
I've told you before, you're not allowed in here.
This one believes it has the right to move freely.
The water powered car? Yep.
Do you
Everybody
desire
who's
to
shown
learn
it.
of the Enkindlers? Or has the Honorable CSEC officer enlisted
Didn't need to
assistance?
choose that.
Why is the
You'd be
CSEC
surprised
officer-
the innovations
CSEC
that have
officer
actually
requests that this one purchase
come
an
up sometimes.
exacting payment as a... This one... The Enkindlers raised...
And
This one will
people
be
ended
most
up dead. You'd be surprised.
That Hanar refuses to listen to reason. Why can't it act in an orderly and lawful manner?
I mean, let's say you do or don't believe in aliens, right? Did you know JFK was assassinated 10 days after he demanded that the Pentagon give him everything they had on aliens?
Are there laws being broken here?
I am not unreasonable. The Hanar is free to spew its nonsense once it purchases it.
So if the Hanar gets a
No. Failure to follow the regulations.
what's the
The Citadel is too important to become a battleground for a religious war.
if you'd
I
like,
argued with the Star-
There are quite a few things that have happened in our history where we have intentionally killed to keep certain advances from not happening.
Has the CSEC officer been assuaged?
Well, give me just a second. Let me knock
the
this
CSEC
out.
officer is just doing his job. You're causing trouble.
This one is too humble to suggest that the CSEC officer is personally biased.
He is biased. He
This
wants
one
safety
only
on the
wishes to
Citadel.
spread the truth to any who will listen. There is no intent to cause trouble.
What if
Yeah,
I
let's just go
purchased
with
the
that.
evangelical permit for you?
Finances are only a partial limitation. This one does not believe that one should pay in order to speak the truth. However, this one also does not possess the 150 credits necessary to purchase the permit.
You don't believe that you should have to pay to spread the truth, but you have no problem using this place, this territory, and these resources to do it. Resources that aren't yours. At least the least you can do is meet them in the middle, just as they're willing to do.
150 credits. This should cover you.
This is a most appreciated action. You are not of the Hanar, but you wish to help spread the truth of the Enkindlers. This one will not cause any further trouble for the CSEC officer. This one offers its thanks.
It's not a matter of the enkindlers. If you believe something, you believe it, you should have the right to speak. That doesn't mean that what you say is correct, but you should at least have the right to speak and have your views be challenged. Now to answer your question, oh yeah, there's quite a few technologies that the government hides from us. As a matter of fact, there's quite a few that they tell us that they're hiding from us. A lot of the times they do it in plain sight. If you ever watch any action movie with the government involved in some way, shape, or form, whatever technology they show you in a movie, chances are they've got it, if not some like early version of it. There was a movie that came out in the 90s called Enemy of the State. Will Smith, Gene Hackman. One of the best movies out there to this day. Recommend you check it out if you haven't. They spoke all about how the government was able to keep track of you, how they were surveying you, little things that they were doing. The government finally came out about 10 years afterwards. Yeah, we did have all that. We did all that. They always tell us about the technological advances, but they tell us when the technology is like out of date. So there's that whole thing. Artificial and mechanical organs. Yeah, those could be real useful. Like, so long as, well, I was gonna say so long as people don't go crazy. People are going to go crazy anyway. Setting aside the going crazy argument, artificial organs and like limbs and whatnot, I'm completely fine with that stuff. My issue is like the blatant enhancement of it all. When you have one arm that can lift 800 pounds, when initially it took both pieces of your entire body, upper and lower, and you barely got half of that, well, we've kind of got a problem. It's impressive, but we've kind of got a problem. But no, if you lose a limb or something, you gain the ability to function normally. Even if you functioning normally is you lifting 400 pounds, at least you'll be back to normal, or as normal as possible.
I see the Hanar is left. Thank you.
Yeah,
Happy
no
to
problem.
help.
Here, for your assistance in this matter. Now, if you'll excuse me, I should report to my superiors.
I always forget that he leaves so he can go get the permit. I think you tend to see him later. Zelton. Yeah, just the replacements in and of themselves, I'm 100% behind those. I like that. I was born with myopia, nearsightedness. So like something like that for somebody like me would be extremely useful. I'd rather not get replacements. I keep it real. I'd rather die as I am, flesh and bone. No cybernetics, none of that. But if push comes to shove, it is what it is. But like things like that, artificial like organs, lungs, hands. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I don't take issue.
Strange greeting, human. This is really not a good time.
I see great potential in it.
I know who revealed your secret. It was a Turian named Septimus.
Unbelieving, I know this Septimus, and he could not learn my secrets. The only way he could learn them is from the Asari consort.
Yep,
Not true. Look at this.
Confused.
sounds about right.
This is difficult to fathom. If the Turian could learn this on his own, dismayed, anyone can discover my secret.
We'd have to be real careful with it though, 'cause then you get a bunch of people who who play the, well, you had your lungs damaged, but you can take these ones and, well, they can breathe argon. And they work in very deep tunnels as well. It's going to be that trap in the end. The technology, the concepts, I'm all there for it. But you know how people are. You give them an inch and they'll take a country.
Septimus is a powerful man, and it wasn't easy for him to find.
Relieved. I suppose you are correct, human. Thank you for this information. Startled realization. I must speak with the consort. She will be most displeased with my actions. Anxious
You should be
request.
most displeased with your actions.
Please, human, if you will excuse me, I must go now.
No
I'm
problem.
sure she'll forgive you. It was an honest mistake.
Doubtful. Perhaps you are right, human. I can only hope so.
That kills me every
Thankful.
time these cutscenes end.
That was a great thing you did, Commander. Approving. You see, then not all humans are as you say.
I'm sure
Kills me
your
every
clan
time.
stands to profit from this in some way.
Apologetic. Do not listen to my Volus compatriot. It was a good thing you did, regardless of your intentions.
I like to think so. I get it. Shair's, she bad, I guess. Everybody seems to like this consort. I can respect it. But don't you ever let yourself be thrown at somebody like that. I don't care who you are, man or woman. Yeah, Vrolic syndrome, brittle bone disease. That would help quite a few people. Quite a few people. There are different levels of cases. Funnily enough, or I guess more interestingly enough, I guess you could say, if you've never played this game or this series, the our main pilot on the Normandy actually has brittle bone disease. didn't think I had found you. Oh, shit. Alright. It's all 20. Weird. I guess it just outright completes and then shuffles itself down. Yeah, because there's Zelton Convinced, even though it's under 2 missions, and I only just did a second one. I guess it should be under 1 mission. Yep, scan the keeper. You scanned several keepers and sent off the results. No doubt these findings will uncover some interesting and as of yet unknown facts about the small insect-like creatures. Cool. Cool. Alright, so I guess we can move on. Head on out to this rogue VI mission. Wait, what level are we? Might want to hold up. Oh wait, hold on. Oh no, I'm using the legendary system. So yeah, we should be fine. I'm using the legendary level up system. Cause it says we're 16. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. I don't usually want to do this mission until I'm at least level 28. Especially on this difficulty.
In other news, Exogeny Corp is still denying reports that one of their survey teams has gone missing in the Hades Gamma Cluster. When asked why communication with the survey team was suddenly cut off last week, company officials refused to comment.
Okay, let me see now. Oh. I forgot Nasana Dantius contacted us. I didn't think she had. Well, gotta go back up there.
Coming up in a report later today, Emily Wong investigates corruption on the Citadel and uncovers a full-blown crime syndicate.
Still found it to be so weird that people hated these elevator rides. I legit loved them, especially when they first dropped in the first game. And I'm sitting here and I'm listening and I'm like, oh, that's cool. You people will communicate. Oh, that's cool. You'll hear about galaxy-wide news, and it's like, mission? Really? And some of the missions that you come across just on them elevators, man. But unfortunately, they got rid of them. C'est la vie.
Commander Shepard, I am Nasana
Yeah.
Dantius. I see you got my message.
Interesting. You know what? Let's keep it calm. She may know of me for a
It
reason.
sounded like you needed some help.
I do. My sister Dahlia is a crewman on the cargo vessel operating out beyond the fringes of the Traverse. Her ship was attacked by privateers. There were no reported survivors.
Which of the three choices would I choose? Out of those, genetic enhancements is the cleanest. Cybernetic enhancements leaves too much open for the machine. You're hooking up a system that doesn't necessarily adhere to standard people rules, which is to say, we have our spleens, we have our teeth, we have our lungs, we have our kidneys, bladder, all of that, and then we have our neo bladder and our hyperspine, or whatever the hell we choose to call it. It doesn't adhere to normal rules, otherwise we would already have it naturally. So now we have to play a game of making sure our body can take what it is we've given it, and making sure what we've given it isn't too much. Like let's say you gain the ability to lift an object 12 times your weight. Okay, your arm can do that, but can your body support what your arm can do? Or is your arm about to rip itself off of you? You have to deal with that whole double issue of almost like a second mind. It may even potentially be a second mind. I'm not going that far, but it may even potentially be some sort of second mind, an AI developing off of your natural mind connecting with machines, since it's not normally supposed to. And in immortal machine bodies, that's even worse, because you effectively give up to the machine entirely. You no longer think the way you used to. Things that matter to you don't matter the way they used to. It's the same with all three choices, but in terms of that one, nothing matters the same way. You don't need food. You need coolant or whatever to stay cool in whatever system. You more than likely hooked your mind into some sort of stable Dyson sphere almost, because that's the only thing that would really make sense. A massive hub where everybody's at. Because who would want to be in the matrix by themselves? So there would have to be people, and then there'd have to be stuff, and then there'd have to be a constant innovation. You would have to find ways to not get bored and constantly find new stuff to do. You would have to constantly progress as a species, basically. Even though you're inside the matrix, you would have to continue. It's the same old trap. Why not continue out here? At least out here, you could potentially save yourself. And if push comes to shove, you can maybe hop into this matrix or whatever if you really need to. But can you actually pull yourself out of the matrix and put yourself into a shell capable of holding your mind? Maybe not. Maybe, but more than likely not. Genetic enhancements are the cleanest. All three will alter the way you see things, but at least genetic enhancements, they go along the same lines. Humans have always been the same. Over the course of time, we do evolve to gain more properties, just as all life does. But genetic enhancements is literally just the same thing sped up. My problem with genetic enhancements is the speed factor, and the fact that we're not actually able to do a lot of the stuff that we're trying to give ourselves the ability to do, like regrow limbs. My fault on the essay. I'll have to think about that. Power system. Power system? You mean like the type of power they use, or like power like Mass Effect's Element Zero power?
I'm sorry for your loss.
This is where it gets complicated. Last week, I received a message with her voice on it. Dahlia is alive. The rest of the crew was killed, but she was taken prisoner. The slavers demanded a huge ransom from me in exchange for returning her unharmed.
In terms of just power, I can't really say. If we're talking about just like energy types, like Mass Effect's Element Zero or the Mass Effect, well, if you do that, you kind of have to have certain other rules play into effect. You have the Mass Effect, you might potentially have Reapers. You might potentially have Geth. You might potentially have, you would have biotics. I mean, you know. But DC universe, rather, right? You want powers from the DC universe? You have to deal with the reality of the source wall. You have to deal with the reality of beings like Darkseid. You want power from the Marvel universe? Same thing. You have to deal with I'm trying to remember the barrier that they have for their universe, but it's basically their version of the source wall. Same thing. It's like if you want invisibility, you have to deal with the fact that you're invisible so people don't think you're there. So a car will run you over not realizing you're there.
Why didn't the raiders kill Dahlia along with everyone else?
My sister probably told them who she was. My family's very wealthy, Shepard. They must have realized she was worth more to them alive.
Interesting. I had forgot this back in the day. Usually these three choices, and especially Mass Effect 1, they tend to fit more Paragon, Renegade, and Neutral. But the Paragon choice is you better pay. Oh, the ransom, okay. So yeah, it's hard to say. You'd have to have all of the rules that whatever it comes from plays by. You have warp from Star Trek, you have to deal with warp from Star Trek problems.
Do you want me to deliver the ransom?
I've already transferred the funds to the account they specified. Only they never released her. They haven't contacted me since. I've made a terrible mistake, Shepard. I'm a diplomatic emissary. By law, I'm required to report any attempted extortion to CSEC immediately. But I was afraid for Dahlia, so I just paid the ransom. Now she's still missing. And if anyone finds out what I did, I could end up in jail.
The law is not entirely stupid, but it's not entirely smart either. It's a mixed bag law. But the cleanest answer I have for your question, honestly, the best, worst, best choice, the Force. There's nothing like the Force. Wish number one, that no wish I make is going to have some bad, negative, unusual effect that I can't see coming. Genies love to play that game. I wish for $1 million and then I get ran over by 1,000,000 deer. I wish for I wish to live on Mars, even though Mars has no atmosphere, so I die seconds afterwards. First wish, nothing backfires, nothing can backfire, not even using the first wish. Second wish, a list of the perfect thing that I could get in one wish. And the third wish is that perfect thing.
You want me to find her and bring her back?
You only need to bring her back. I've already found her for you. I tracked the ransom payment through several accounts. Eventually, it led to a small mercenary band operating out of the Artemis Tau cluster. I need you to go to the Merc base, take them out, and bring my sister back. You shall be well rewarded.
I can never remember this voice actress's name. She has always been so very good. Oh. So yeah, I guess that nullifies the need for the first wish then. So yeah, I guess the first wish would be the perfect two things that I could get from each wish, and then the last two wishes are what those perfect things would be.
Anything you can tell me about the mercs who have your sister?
Pretty much what you'd expect. Rough, dangerous, and well-armed. Nothing a Spectre cannot handle, though.
So mercs. Yep.
Can't you hire someone else to do this?
I do not want to take chances with my sister's life. I need a Spectre. Besides, you operate outside official channels. My superiors cannot find out I never reported the ransom in the first place.
There we go. There we go. Other than the safety of your sister and you wanting a professional, you cannot have this come back to you. Politics. It's always the same old game, ain't it?
How'd you find out who was behind the ransom?
I have resources. Contacts and credits can go a long way, especially if you're willing to bend the rules. I already broke the law when I paid the ransom. This couldn't make things any worse.
There's always somebody dumb enough to talk, somebody greedy enough, somebody afraid enough. There's always a weak link in the chain. It's just a matter of finding it. But let's go the proper route.
Keep your reward. I'll bring your sister back. I promise.
Thank you, Shepard. I knew you were the right man for the job. Come back and see me when the job is done.
Yep. Oh, I kind of figured, especially since you said it wasn't going to backfire against me, that would have to be loopholes against loopholes. So yeah, again, the best thing, the first wish is the best thing that I could wish for, the best two things I could wish for, and then the last two wishes are those two things.
Hello, Commander. Can I get you something?
Yes, sir. Not surprising he'd know
What
me.
have you got?
Information, mostly. Would you like to know about some points of interest nearby?
I would. You know, to this day, there are people, even in real life, who get confused as to why it is you would ask a bartender about information. And it's very simple. Bartenders see a lot, they hear a lot, and people who are drunk talk
What's
a lot.
going on around here?
Well, you found the embassies. Not much going on here. Across the bridge, you'll find the bank, the Emporium, and Shaira's. If you haven't heard of her, you soon will. If you need supplies, you can try the markets one level below. For entertainment, I try Flux or Cora's Den.
Cora's Den is dirty. I like it. Flux is upscale. It's interesting. I've never really been a person who gets into clubs. But if I'm going to go to a club, I'm going to go to a club where I can relax. Now, mind you, you go into a grungy club, you can't really relax. You need to kind of watch your neck. But it's more me saying you can be yourself.
What is Shaira's?
The consort, she entertains clients who can afford her services. Most of the diplomats and ambassadors have visited her at one time or another. She's a very powerful woman, but also very respected.
Well, I don't know if this is what Shaira does. It kind of does give the extreme vibe that it does, but let's just say all throughout history, women who have done that particular profession, depending on where they were in human history, they were always respected. As a matter of fact, they were instructors in quite a few ways, both in that arena as well as normal life lessons. You'd be surprised the things you could actually learn. Not gonna lie though, Shaira as a name, always been attractive.
Tell me about Flux and Cora's Den.
Well, Flux has gambling and dancing, certainly more lively than this place. Cora's Den, on the other hand, well, let's just say it's livelier and deadlier, all at the same time.
Yep, that's usually the way the best clubs are. That's my point. You want to go to a real club, you're going to be frustrated. Chances are somebody has the extreme potential to get killed.
Goodbye.
So long, Commander.
Unfortunately. And I gained a strong dislike for clubs as a high schooler, so. Alright, gotta go see Shaira, and then we can head out. I didn't expect to spend this much time here. I gotta remind myself when I'm playing Mass Effect 1, this game is a very dangerous time sink for me. It will kill time, and it has since its very inception. And what's bad is most of my time is usually here on the Citadel. Now, having scanned all the keepers, I have no need to go back and talk to Chorban or Jalid. That'll just be dealt with.
Time ago, though, I barely remember. What drew you back to the Citadel, into the consort?
I'm not gonna lie, a consort kind of place, this publicly, it is
But I simply felt called.
it is weird.
That's
And not the good kind.
Commander, I recently received a lovely note from Septimus. Thank you for speaking with me. Even the Alcor diplomat has withdrawn his campaign against me.
And in a way, she just ends it. Has withdrawn his campaign against me. Aha, aha. Ugh. No
I'm
problem.
glad I could help.
You are too kind, Commander, but I would not expect you to help me out of the kindness of your heart. I also have one more thing to give you, if you are interested.
Sure.
I'd be honored.
I offer a gift of words, an affirmation of who you are and who you will become. I see your skin, tough as the scales on any Turian, unyielding, a wall between you and everyone else, but it protects you, makes you strong. That strength is what kept you alive when everyone around you was dying. You alone survived. You will continue to survive. This may be who you are, but it is not who you will become. It only forms the basis for your future greatness. Remember these words when doubt descends, Commander.
A wall, huh? Interesting. Wonder exactly where that came from. Is it because of my middle of the road choices sometimes? I'm more middle of the road than Paragon or Renegade. Some of it, I do remember, if memory serves, that some of what she says in this instance tends to be based on your class, but I don't know about the others. At least if I remember right, it's based on your class. I won't say she's astute. She's interesting, and she does seem to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Attentive. She pays a lot of attention to detail. She wouldn't be in the position that she's in if she didn't.
You have quite a gift, Shaira.
Thank you. Not everyone appreciates it as you do. Never underestimate the power of words. Here, Commander. In light of your efforts with the Alcor ambassador, I would like you to have this small trinket.
Words do have great power, but the mistake we make is that a lot of times we give words more power than we should. So the words that should sway us don't, and the words that do sway us shouldn't.
What is it?
A small mystery. I have never learned its use or purpose, but I sense it is time for me to pass it on. And now I must ask you to leave. I have done everything I can for you.
That trinket she gave me is so
Remember my
interesting.
words, Commander Shepard. They will give you strength.
If memory serves, it comes up one time, maybe another. I don't remember where, but when we come across it, it'll be interesting, and it will make it a point to reference itself. Kinda want to see if there's anything new while I head down to CSEC. Otherwise, I would have just went straight to the docking bay, or straight to CSEC to get to the docking bay. You gotta, like, so what, do you just come down here and then the elevator senses that somebody's coming so it just comes up? I guess you better not ever come down here.
A Solarian excavation team has run into an unexpected problem after unearthing a Prothean dig site. Hanar protesters have blockaded the dig site, claiming that artifacts of the Enkindlers, as the Hanar call them, should not be disturbed. The excavation team has appealed to Hanar representatives on the Citadel to reach a diplomatic solution.
Sitting on one of them benches and had that elevator just sitting over there waiting on you. You know, the shaft isn't overly large, I wonder if people can actually move through these elevators. Like if something's wrong with them at some point or another.
Hello, Commander.
Show me what you've got.
I'll open the rare stocks for you, Commander. Enjoy.
If in you would. Is it that time? What I need. There's a very specific armor I'm looking for. You know what? Let's go ahead and do this. Master Spectre gear consists of prototype technology not yet available through other manufacturers. Yes, indeed. With a third upgrade slot. Sorry about that. If I remember right, I bought a medical thing for everybody. In one of the last episodes. Okay. Functions like... okay.
Binary Helix has settled out of court with a Krogan group that had accused the Genetics Corporation of fraud. The Krogan group had contracted Binary Helix to perform studies with a long-range goal of curing their genetic sterilization. The group later sued for a return of investment money when the study produced no viable results.
Fictional gadget or weapon. I don't know. I'll need a bit. Cause like there's quite a few. Even going with the whole, there are rules that they fit with. There are still quite a few.
Stand by, shore party. Decontamination in Logged. The commanding officer is aboard. Exo Presley stands relieved.
You know, I don't know if you could consider them to be a gadget. But, sensu beans. Yeah.
Message coming in. Patching it through.
Commander, Ms. Al-Jalani's story on you just aired.
All
She
right.
shouldn't have ambushed you like that, but you handled it pretty well.
We had differences of opinion, sir. I hope she at least believed my sincerity.
You handled yourself pretty well, Commander. She came across like a raving idiot. Just wanted to let you know what the response was back home. I won't keep you any longer. Fifth Fleet out.
Forgot that we spoke to her last time we got to the Citadel. I don't know. That will take some... It will take a bit. I don't know. I mean, I guess the only real thing you could choose that would be kind of benign at the same time, but not a problem, is Star Trek's tricorder. Just give me that scanner that they have. Figured I'd look at these and let people see what the futuristic versions of our planets look like. 371,000 in orbit of Uranus. Jesus, I remember when this game dropped, Pluto was still a planet. Me personally though, I still consider it to be a planet, just more of a dwarf planet. Like we have dwarf stars, more of a dwarf planet. Mars. 3.4 million, not bad. Oh, research outpost. That's why I'm like 800. That's it. Wonder if it said ice dwarf in the original. I don't think it did. What's interesting to me is Earth. There are still swaths of Earth that are still basically 21st century. As a matter of fact, I think that information is actually in the codex. We'll have to see. You know what? Why not? Well, thanks for stopping by and make sure to get yourself some rest, youngster. One second, folks. Sorry about that. Had to top off my coffee. Alright. Somebody's ready to level up. Must be, Yep. Oh, Lord. The game loaded up and she had no face. I can't hear because I got no face. Why are you asking me questions? Yes, sir. Master overload. Definitely gonna want it here. Yeah, advanced singularity increases the radius and duration of singularity and allows you to use it more often. Yes. Well done. Alright. Pretty. I had to get a screenshot. Well. Yeah, let's go with that. Will I keep it? Who knows? I see things and stuff. I almost forgot about those.
Heading to position.
All right then. Head to that position. You can do it. All right. Sorry about that. Douche, douche, douche. Douche, douche, douche. Douche, douche, douche. Douche. Douche, douche, douche. Serpentine, serpentine. All right. Now, in this initial part, it doesn't matter which one of these you choose. The result is going to be the same. What changes is little things as you go. And you'll see what I mean. Okay. Hit the right button, but it almost didn't register. Had to hit it twice.
Rally round.
Finally, some action. Charging up.
Yep.
Lost shields.
Yeah, shit.
Negative contact.
To me.
All right. So that was the first area for the VI. Okay. That was weird. Got an odd notification on my phone, folks. Now, when you're in this room, it doesn't exactly matter which one of these you destroy. It's all gonna be the same. It's the exact same thing over there. But you want yourself and your people out of the way. Toxic gas is being vented into the bunkers. And not yet, but when we leave the bunker, it will be. And they'll if they're too close, they'll like take damage from it. Show you what I mean. See what I mean? Hurts a lot. Lights on the optical mainframe flicker and die. The first of the 3 computing clusters containing the VI is offline. Good. Access to a data store. Sorry, folks. I keep getting this nonsense. It's distracting. The worst moments. Wouldn't be so bad, but, you know, people and problems. But now, every single bunker
All clear.
has gas being leaked in. And we have to move accordingly. Huh? I hit X. Okay. Okay. Might have to reset my stick after this.
Rally round.
Hadn't actually done this in a bit. Oh shit, Liara's over here using an assault rifle. Shields are down. Shields are down. Shit. Homeboy got that middle gun demon level of power.
That's the last of them.
All patched up.
Second booby trap. I guess defense mechanism. Kinetic barrier fields powering up through the bunker complex. Now, we got fields everywhere. That's why you see me pick my angles. Don't bring my people here. Okay. That was weird. Locked in recoil and I couldn't do anything about it for a second. Why y'all so close to being a problem? Barriers everywhere. Taking the 3 computing clusters containing the VIs offline.
Perimeter clear.
Yep. I don't know why I keep getting these weird notifications, folks. My bad. Might end up having to start setting my phone to do not disturb. You know, all this nonsense is. Figured I had to pop another barrier.
Finally, some action.
Finally some action, huh?
I think we're done here.
Coming through the door and she's already ready to go. That girl. Okay, 1 second, folks. Hoping just like a basic reset kind of thing would solve it. One where I don't actually need to like cut off my controller or outright bother going to the accessories section. Oh shit.
All targets eliminated.
All right. Did miss that one. Alright. Have to see what those look like next. Ah, okay, good.
Huddle up.
Deploying.
All of them waiting by the door. That shit was hilarious. Said if we're gonna die as a group. How do you know? That's what my plan is. I mean, I plan to go home to see my wife and 7 circuit boards. Got a couple of surge protectors on the way. It's not supposed to make sense in the slightest. Additional security drones powering up. Haha. Damn. Disruption is something to use on us. Burst of white noise over all frequencies nearly deafens you. Your hard suit heads up displayed interprets it into a series of zeros and ones. 01001000, 01000101, 01001100, 01010000. They repeat again and again, blanketing all frequencies until the lights from the final VI cluster flicker and die. Specialization class unlocked. Your specialization class will replace your base class and the talents on the squad tree. Talent ranks in your base class transfer over to your specialization class. Go to the squad screen to view the bonuses you gain with each rank in your specialization. Now each class is going to get something different. Sometimes some of these will be a little bit the same, despite the fact of them being different. Like I want to say, it's like I have Bastion and Nemesis. I want to say as a Vanguard, you'd also get access to Nemesis, but I'm not sure. So Nemesis. The Nemesis is a biotic specialist who uses Mass Effect fields to inflict heavy damage against opponents. Duration and damage of all biotic abilities improves warp and lift. And Bastion is used biotics for defense or for opponent immobilization. Reduces recharge time on all powers, on all biotics. Improves stasis and barrier. Bastion was probably what I'll go for just for defensive sake. But in order to get your specialization, you have to do this mission. This is the only mission in the game that will give it to you. And that is the mission. And now I just need to level up and then report to Admiral Hackett. I'll let you throw it in the stasis, Liara. That AI hacking came in handy sometimes, but mostly our drones were just getting my damn way and we get shot out of the sky, thereby disrupting what it is we're doing, as well as actually losing us help. Yeah, let's go with that electronics. And then as you can see, Bastion, replacing Adept. Increase barrier strength and duration by 25%, and barrier will also regen 40 shields a second. I can dig it. And 1 point into throw to get access to lift. Add to throws upgrade choices later. Damn. Got a bunch of medical interfaces too. Sure, why not?
That's the last of them.
Regroup!
Alright, folks, let's go. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. Run! Go! Get to the chopper! I have to look. I might be wrong, but I could swear Arnold Schwarzenegger was in his 40s when he filmed Predator, the first Predator movie. He obviously wasn't in any of the others, but yeah. Heard he might have made a return for the more recent one though, but I'm not sure. Admiral. That's weird. Nothing to say? Yeah, nothing to say. I'm not used to that. Or I'm misremembering and he never says anything to me at all. No, let's just go ahead and expand outward a bit. I believe she said her sister was in the Sparta system. Oh, Macedon in the Artemis Tau cluster. So I'll pop us over there, and then we'll be calling it an episode, folks. I feel like I was around here already. Yeah, I was, because that metallic asteroid would have something on it. Sharjita. Okay, so this must have just been one of the ones where I ended up finding the planet and didn't land because I didn't have anything to do. But folks, it's gonna be the end of episode 11 of Mass Effect 1 Legendary Edition on the Xbox Series X. If you folks like what you see, want to see more of me, give me a like, follow, subscribe here on YouTube or both. Drop a comment, check out some of the other playlists, share around some of the other playlists. Follow the links to my Twitch to get to my YouTube. Follow the links to my YouTube to get to my Twitch. Bang the bell, and wherever you folks happen to be, have yourselves a good morning, afternoon, evening, or night, and God bless you. Catch you in the next one.